United States. Quincy! It's good to be home. It is good to be back in Quincy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It is good to be back in Quincy. We've got some special guests here I want to acknowledge. The outstanding governor of the great state of Illinois, Patrick Quinn, is here. Hey, Patrick. Your fine mayor, John Spring. Give him a big round of applause. Attorney General Lisa Madigan. Treasurer and soon-to-be Senator Alexei Giannoulis. Secretary of State and Tumbler Supreme Jesse White. So I miss you guys. You know, now being president's nice. You know, you got you live above the store, so it's a really short commute. There's a nice plane. But one of the toughest things about being president is I don't get a chance to come home as much as I'd like and visit with all of you like I used to. I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd here. Now part of the problem is that when I travel now, it kind of causes a ruckus. I do remember, though, the last time I was here, I think it was in this building that we were filling up sandbags, weren't we? And I still remember that day because it was a picture of what America's about. You had people from all different walks of life, the whole community coming together. Everybody was working hard. Everybody knew that there was a challenge coming from the potential flooding, but everybody was in good spirits because they figured if we're all working together, then there's no reason why we can't handle this. We've handled things before. And that's the American spirit on display. And that's the spirit of Quincy and the spirit of Illinois. So it's just good to be reminded of that and to come back and spend some time with y'all. We spent a couple of days in Iowa and Missouri, and now back here, Yay, Missouri! How about Iowa? We got some Iowans here. We got a few Iowans, but we are in Illinois. But over the last couple of days, we've talked to workers who are busy building wind blades for these big wind turbines and a biofuel plant, families and small business owners trying to navigate through a tough economy, talking to farmers about what's happening to family farms in the region. And because it's folks like all of you and towns like Quincy that give America its heartbeat, that's why it's so important for me to be able to visit. It's towns like this where working men and women built the American dream with their bare hands. You know, this is where our roots are. I just met a young man coming in. He says he's my cousin. There he is, right there. Seriously, it's what is it? Fourth generation? Four generations back. I told him he was a little better looking than me. But all of us trace back to this experience of parents, grandparents, great-grandparents building this American dream, not having much to begin with. And that dream is shared by every Illinoisan and every American. The chance to make a good living, to raise a healthy and secure family, and most of all, to give our kids opportunities that we didn't have ourselves. Now, the truth is that sometimes it feels like that dream is slipping away. Times are tough in Quincy. Times are tough all across America. We've gone through the worst economy since the Great Depression. And even though our economy is growing again, even though our markets are climbing again, and our businesses are finally beginning to create jobs again, there are a lot of folks who still aren't feeling that recovery in their own lives. And I've heard their stories across the country. I've read it in the letters that I get each night. And a lot of them are worried about whether or not they're going to be able to sustain their dream for a better life. And many felt that way even before this most recent crisis, even before the economic storm of the past 2 years. Folks were living up to their responsibilities as best they could, working hard, looking after their families, giving back to their communities, but they kept on finding themselves getting hurt in this economy in ways they didn't expect. And part of it was because Washington and Wall Street weren't living up to their responsibilities. Now, that's why I asked to be your president. That's why so many of you joined the campaign. You joined me because you believed we had it within our power to change things. You figured we could solve the problems that have been holding us back year after year after year and focus on working Americans again. You believed we could keep the American dream alive in our time and for all time. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. When I took office, we were in the midst of this historic financial crisis brought on by reckless and irresponsible speculation on Wall Street. That in turn had led to a recession that hammered Main Street across America. And you saw lost jobs and lost homes and lost businesses and downscaled dreams. The first thing we had to do then was to mount an aggressive response to make sure that this terrible recession didn't turn into another Great Depression. And let's face it, that required some tough steps to stabilize the financial sector, and some of those steps weren't popular. I knew they weren't popular. I've got pollsters. They told me, boy, that's really going to be unpopular. But we made those decisions anyway, because the well-being of millions of Americans depended on it. Even if they didn't poll well, they were the right thing to do. It was the only thing we could do to take those steps. So we took these steps to get America back on its feet. We aimed tax relief right at the middle class, the cornerstone of the American dream. We made sure that we cut taxes for 95% of working families, put money in their pockets because they were experiencing hard times, fewer hours or somebody in the family being laid off, making sure that they could still buy groceries and pay the bills to keep the economy afloat. We cut taxes for small businesses. We cut taxes for first-time home buyers. We cut taxes for students and parents paying for college.